And given
Mm-hmm.
that you have not just touched six figures but made multiple of them as well, how do they need to start their business and scale from zero to six figures just like you have?
So the number one thing is to be honest with yourself. Are you really willing to create a business? Are you ready to show up even when you have not made a sale? You've not grown to $1 million. Are you ready to show up? Are you ready to not cry if you lose a sale or something? Because if the answers are not yes here, you're not ready.
We would love to know what was your thought process behind coming up with LTL, introducing LTL, which is called low ticket life.
When you really read between the lines, you see that high ticket businesses were not based on high ticket offers. They started with low ticket offers. Every high ticket coach out there is going to tell you create a value ladder. But I feel like what makes low ticket life different than any other course or a community is that this is community first. So 90% of the times, every single Q&A call we have, the last 5 minutes are, what do you want more?
How would a shy person, a complete beginner, also scale their business so beautifully the way you have done?
I don't know, when I give this advice, people leave, but this is my honest advice. Business. Hi, Shwara. Nice to meet you.
I am so glad and I am so honored to have you on this platform. And thank you so much for giving us the time and joining us and for being our first ever guest. How are
Oh,
you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for inviting me. Truth be told, I'm nervous because I've not done this in a long time. But yeah, I'm quite excited.
It is going to be extremely, extremely insightful. And who better to have and who better to absorb so much information than Paridhi Pandey?
That is very
Absolute
kind of you.
privilege. Absolute privilege. And like I said initially, Paridhi, like you have transformed your business so well. Right from scratch. You were a 9 to 5 data analyst. You
Yeah.
started this business from scratch, built it so beautifully, yeah, and you're almost touching $500,000 and transforming it so well. How has this business transformed for you personally? I would absolutely love to know.
Business transformation is quite different from the transformation you see in a 9 to 5 or anything else, and an online business transformation is quite different from everything else. Personally, it has made me stronger. So the first few times when I used to not get the sales or not scale, I used to cry like a baby, and I used to be like, what the hell is happening here? And now I'm so resilient. I'm like, okay, this is going to come, this is going to come, and this is going to happen, don't worry about it. So it has made me a lot resilient, it has made me patient, and it has actually shown me avenues of getting money quickly, which I know feels very gimmicky when you even say it. But now that you know that, okay, this is how you can generate more money in like a day maybe, it feels unreal. So the personal development has been insane, but at the same time the mindset development has been on another level.
Wow. And that truly speaks your journey and the things you have experimented, right? Would you say, like, when you initially started,
Mhm.
how was your journey? Like, you started from complete scratch to now being like, this is how you make four figures in one day. And that talks about your experience. I would love to know, like, how has that journey been for you to reach this level and to say what you just mentioned?
Yeah, so even today I just posted this on my threads and my Instagram. I said, don't be ready to start, make a decision, start and make the money. And that is what happened for me as well. I started not knowing a lot of stuff. I did my own research, and coming from the background, you do that IT research and you're like, I'll do everything. But you can't really know something unless you're in the waters, and that's what I did. I started, and for a significant time I didn't know what exactly is happening. Like, I knew the business model, I knew like what I'm doing, what I'm promoting, all of that is there, but in the back end you still feel like, okay, there is so much to learn, there is so much to rehearse and practice, that you don't feel like you know everything. But you keep going, and then you're like, okay, this is the point of contact, or this is the stuff that is working for me and getting me the results, so you do it over and over again, and then you start figuring out stuff. So a lot of people feel like from day one they have to be perfect. Before I launch, I will know everything. That's just not possible. It's a waste of time. But I started to figure out what others were doing in my niche, in other niches, and so that I could figure out, okay, this is the pathway maybe I can follow, maybe I don't have to follow. And that comes, like you said, with experimentation. So there are certain things that absolutely flopped for me in terms of content, in terms of making sales and all of those things. But then with those experiments, I got to know finally, okay, this is something that is bringing me closer to my goal, so let's do that. So initially I started with affiliate marketing, and I was like high ticket affiliate marketing, all of that was happening. In that whole space, I started to follow people who were doing amazingly well, and I said, okay, I'll do what they're doing. I started to follow their footsteps, and I saw, okay, this is getting me faster results, this is getting me better results. Okay, I'll keep, I'll double down on it. As simple as that. And then
Absolutely.
in the process, I saw that when I'm creating all of those funnels, I'm creating all of the automations on the ebooks and everything, the lead magnets, all of the words, I saw that, okay, there is a huge potential right now. So I still remember that. I'm not bragging, but I remember that I one of the initial courses that I launched was how to create your first ebook in 7 days. And at that time, I've retired that product now, but at that time, an ebook also was not very popular. Like it was a big thing to even create an ebook. And with my affiliate journey to create those free resources, I did create the ebook. So that is how I stepped into the world of digital products, and I realized, okay, it's not that difficult to create your own. It's not that difficult to find a product that's profitable, so you might as well resell it, all of those things. And from there, I transitioned. But if you ask me in a nutshell, I started with what I felt aligned with, and I felt like I could explore it. I started exploring it, following the footsteps, and now we are here. It's literally it.
Beautiful. And I absolutely remember that as well, when you were initially creating your products. And I have been following you personally from when you started affiliate marketing as well. And you were my biggest inspiration.
Oh,
And I
sweet.
would love to deep dive more into like the products that you have created, and the journey that you've been through. But before that as well, the biggest question which a lot of beginners out there have,
Yeah.
right? If I want to start from complete scratch, coming from a very different background, have zero idea, but have been just seeing all of these reels on Instagram, hearing a lot of noise out there, and given
Mm-hmm.
that you have not just touched six figures but made multiple of them as well, how do they need to start their business and scale from zero to six figures just like you have? What would be your biggest tip or suggestion in this case?
Find someone who's done it over and over again. Consider them your only coach and mentor, at least till you hit your first 5 figures, if not the sixth one, and go for it. I'll deep dive into that. But what I really want to say here is, because, like you said, there's a lot of noise.
Hmm.
Everyone is teaching you something else. I feel like there's no such thing as saturation. There's no such thing, oh my God, this will not work for me. Anything that you put your heart into will work for you. Given your time, given your schedule, given your lifestyle, there's something you might not be able to put so much effort into. For me, for example, because I had a 9 to 5 and I was in a new relationship, I didn't want to be like, oh, pulling overnighters to. I still do sometimes if I want to, but then I didn't want to be like that person. So I said, okay, digital products, all right, affiliate marketing. I don't have to create the product. All right, people are making money out of it. This is working. Let's start it. Very honestly started like that, followed the footsteps of people who have done it over and over again, figured things out on my way, and then found new avenues. If I felt like, okay, this affiliate marketing is no longer something that I want to do, or probably I've done it enough, let's dive into something else, I dove into something else. It was closely related, and through that affiliate marketing journey, I saw so many avenues because I got into content creation, I got into automations, I got into digital products, and all of those simple skills. So, if you are someone, first of all, you have to understand the fact that you have to learn the skill. A lot of people are bypassing learning the skill because they want to feel like everybody obviously wants to make the money, but nobody wants to learn how. If you don't have the time to learn how, that's fine. Then you'll have to put in the money, to be very honest. You got to find someone who can do all this stuff for you. There are a lot of people who have these done for you services, which I think is quite amazing. Find someone who can do the work for you. If you don't have money, find the time to do the work for yourself. So something, if you're a complete beginner, learn these skills. Number one is social media, and second is sales. If you have nailed selling on social media, it doesn't matter what your product is, that doesn't matter what your niche is, you can literally become rich. So social media and high income skills. For me, I would recommend digital products. That's what I do because that is the time that I had, and I really didn't have, to build a physical business, not the storage, not the shipping, not even the time. So that's what I recommend to a complete beginner. Find someone who can teach you as fast as possible and go for it.
Absolutely. And I've seen the way you have beautifully progressed as well, right? In terms of building relationship, especially your content as well. And even for me, for example, even when I started, I had zero idea. It was more on in terms of reflecting and what others are doing. And you don't initially know what you're good at, what you relate to, and that is how I initially started as well. And I was doing initially faceless, and then eventually as you grew, and then you start getting a good hang of it, building a brand around it, and the journey is so beautiful. And I'm sure you heavily agree on this as well. There are so many people out there who want, like you said, quick results, right? And a lot of the times, either if you want fast results, you have to invest. But now you see so many people who don't want to invest the time or the money either, but they want the results,
Yeah.
right? But they want the results. That all starts with the mindset. And of course, it's like a whole education journey from there. But I would love to hear your thoughts in terms of people who are kind of stuck in that mindset, or who come with that, oh, I am stuck in this situation, or immediately I want to get out of it, but I don't even have the investment of any kind. Like, what would be your biggest suggestion for that scenario?
I would honestly say that if you want abs and you don't even want to get into the gym, there's no way out. And suddenly you'll see that every single person, they keep talking about calories, they keep talking about getting sick, getting fat, getting unhealthy, and then when it's time to talk about, okay, what should we do about it? There's no solution. From tomorrow I'll wake up at 5 a.m. But they don't wake up at 5 a.m. So unless you've mastered consistency, unless you've mastered that, you need to change your life. Like, I know you know the solutions. The biggest question that I get from people is, everything's available on YouTube, and now I have a YouTube channel. I can 100% assure you that everything I know is or will be available on my YouTube channel. At least I can say that for myself. And I still know people don't take action, because here's the thing: money brings the accountability. We want to learn that, great. We
Absolutely.
want to accept it, great. We don't want to accept it, great. Money brings the accountability. The reason we show up to work every single day is because it is paying us. That's the only reason. I like my job. I loved my job. I was a data analyst. I loved it. I loved researching, analyzing data. But then money was the driver somehow. Otherwise, I would have made excuses, sick leaves, and everything that I didn't want to join. So when it comes to mindset, I feel like you don't have to overly be like motivated all the time and not put things into action. But then there's one thing that you need to master, is that you have to show up for yourself. And if you think it's been years, you've not been able to build those apps, I
Yeah.
guarantee you, the day you sign up with a trainer, even though the trainer is telling you the same things, eat your food on time, sleep on time, come to the gym on time, but you're seeing those results, because accountability is the biggest thing that matters.
Absolutely.
And
And yeah, and you made such a good point over there, showing up each and every single day. Show up no matter how your journey is going, whether personally, business wise, no matter what is happening. We need to show up in your business, and you have been showing up so beautifully throughout these years as well, each and every single day. And trust me, even for me personally, I have had not just days, even to be honest, I've had like 2 continuous months where I've been like, I feel so burnt out. And trust me, even seeing the way you show up in your business, and seeing the way even your audience is actually watching you each and every single day, that motivates you so much to shop in your business no matter what, because we started this for a reason. You're doing this for a reason, not just for the sake of it, right? And absolutely, when you invest, you are so much more motivated to make it back, not just equally but even so much more as well. And that is absolutely the biggest motivator. Otherwise, the journey just goes as it is. And even considering the journey that you have spent years in digital marketing business as well, what would you say? What mistakes and pitfalls would you highly recommend beginners to avoid to scale their business? And talking about you personally as well, what mistakes and pitfalls did you have to go through, which you feel that has affected your business and would have worked differently otherwise?
I'm not sure if this is the right advice, because honestly, for me to say that this would have worked differently if I would have tried it, maybe it would have, but I don't regret any all of the decisions that I made. I experimented a lot. The problem with a lot of people or anybody who's just starting, they're like, for example, if they've invested into a course and the coaching and they're like, this is it, and they don't see the results, suddenly we start bashing that course, that mentor, that coach, and we're like, she didn't do enough, she didn't do enough for me. But the whole thing is, there is a reason that you probably are struggling is because you didn't do enough for yourself. And there's a lot of business maturity to accept that, even though maybe it was not the best program for you, doesn't mean it was the worst program for you. And there's a lot of maturity that goes behind saying, what did I do wrong, or what could I improve so that this becomes better for me? Because ultimately it is my loss. I have
Absolutely.
invested into thousands of coachings and courses and everywhere. But even if I waste my time and energy thinking, oh my God, this course was the worst, maybe it was. Maybe I really felt like, okay, I wasted my money. But then to have that maturity to move on is really important, because money rewards speed. So instead of bashing, okay, oh my God, she is not working for me, what am I doing wrong? Secondly, what I really feel like right now, of course, you need a mentor, you need a coach, you need people to guide you. Maybe just a quick ebook might not help you in the long run, but it will get you started. So find your first place to get started, start, and then find a coach for yourself. Our problem is we are so invested in getting free advice that we never want to, pay for good advice. We just invested in free advice. So we'll ask 20 different people for 20 different advices. For example, I'll give you that everybody on social media, especially in the digital product and this social media marketing space, they say don't create educational content. It's just making you go viral. It's not bringing the sales. For me, only my educational content brings me the most sales, because it is quite possible that the target audience that I'm dealing with is intellectually different than the target audience someone else is dealing with. You know, I'm
Absolutely.
I'll be very honest and very blunt to say that if I'm dealing with an Indian immigrant who works in IT, because I work in IT, they will not just make a decision because I'm flaunting a fancy lifestyle. First of all, they have migrated from their own country. We know how expensive it is. Second, they are making their money, they have goals, and maybe it's the Indian mindset, but we have goals of a big house. We have
Yeah.
goals of settle down, that's what we call it. And this, for me, in business, it looks like an addition. For them, it looks like a roadblock to settling down. So you see, I'm handling very different clients, and very so important for me to understand that what advice works for someone else doesn't necessarily works for me in my business, because what works for my business and my viewers is entirely different. And to understand that, you need to have the direction of a person who can just tell you right away that it's not possible, or help you experiment with it, because one size will not fit everybody. So get your starting point, get started, and find a coach who can help you irrespective of the bias they have around this business model, and they can help you find your own way.
Absolutely. And it goes a lot very much hand in hand, right? Like you said, you need to find what you fit in. A lot of people, they window shop a lot. They go around asking for free tips. And trust me, like, building authority and building trust is so important in this business. And that doesn't come, like you said, asking multiple 20 people who are in the same boat as you. They're also still figuring out. And you're
Yeah.
asking people who are still figuring out, you're just digging a bigger hole, right? So no matter whether you're faceless, whether you're face forward, having the clarity and directly connecting with your business and your target audience, that is so crucial. So I so heavily agree. And also, the first thing, like I said, they directly blame the product or the coach. And they're like, oh, I'm struggling with motivation. I want somebody to motivate me. I'm like, you are doing this business for yourself, right? So many people even come near me. I'm like, 2 days, every 2 days, I need you to motivate me. I'm like, you're not doing this business for me. Even if I motivate you, it goes away in half an hour or in 2 hours, right? You're doing this for your family. Like, you are doing this for yourself, for your family, right? Only that can motivate you, nothing else. No course or anything of that perspective as well. And now, speaking more on those terms as well, Paridhi, you have built so many different products in your journey, right? Of course, you may or may not have had an idea when you initially started as well, because you were, again, you had just started learning how to swim in this business. So, how
Yeah.
did it come about? Be like, how, when in your journey did you feel like, okay, this has great potential and now I'm ready to build my new product? And how was that journey like for beginners who currently have no idea? And even if they want to try their business out in different niches and create their own products, and they're also starting from scratch. So, as you started in a similar manner as well, I would love to know how your journey has been and what would be your biggest tips for beginners out there.
So there are two kinds of beginners. First is that you are a creator. You just don't know how to monetize those skills. So maybe you're a beauty creator, maybe you're a fitness creator, but you're not monetizing in any way. You're just waiting for a brand to say, "Hi, we love your content and we want to sponsor you." And the other kind of beginner is who's just watching my video and like, I don't know what she does, but I want to do what she's doing. Right? So I want to speak to the people who think that I don't know what she does and I just, want to start doing what she's doing. Like I said, find your starting point. What is your starting point? There are multiple business avenues. How much time do you have? How much resources do you have? When I say resources, I mean time, energy, and money.
Mm,
So figure out that for yourself. If you, I would promote digital products like anything because, yeah, even if I have to create it, it's just my laptop and my phone. I can do it from anywhere. I can do it on a Sunday. I can do it while sitting in my car if I want to. So, highly, highly, highly recommend that. If you're starting out with digital products, if your starting point is, I can't create one, find a product for yourself or become an affiliate. As simple as that. It's fine if you don't want to create it. In the longer run, I highly recommend that you do, and you will figure it out like I figured it out. For me, when I wanted to start, God bless, somebody's video came into my feed and they said start with affiliate marketing. Didn't know anything, just knew the theory of it, Googled a few tips and tricks and all of those things. I said, okay, wow, let's do that. From there, I literally, like you quoted, I learned swimming in the pool by getting into the pool. I got into the pool. There, I figured out once I did affiliate marketing, I created that social testimony that, I know how to do affiliate marketing. I have done it. And then I grew on social media.
yeah.
So those are the two guides I created. How to start affiliate marketing and how to grow on social media. Those are two guides that I created. Once I created those two guides, people downloaded them. People, I sold those guides. I created my course on how to create the guide. So you see, one milestone is creating another pathway, and then it is creating another opportunity, and then it is creating another opportunity. I just started with the thing that felt best in my time, energy, and money. I started it. I figured out an opportunity within it. I started that. I figured out an opportunity within it. I started that. And now I literally teach people how to create your products, whether ebooks, courses, all of those things. And that's how it started. So it's not that difficult. We're just overthinking a lot of stuff right now. We just overthink a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. And I remember when you launched your initial product, I was one of your students as well, for both of them, creating your product and your viral reels as well. So
Yeah.
it's very nostalgic when you talk about it. I'm like, I have seen you. Of course, I've seen you from the front end. Back end only you will know, right? And
Yeah.
now that even I have been in this business for over a year now, creating a product is not easy, right? It
Mhm.
does take time. It does take a lot of effort into structuring your product and actually filling a pain point or a void out there in the market, or your product is going to be very similar if not the same like somebody else. You have to solve an issue, and then it's like it perfectly fits, like you said, right? One shoe doesn't fit all, so you have to find what exactly you are trying to fulfill in your niche, in your target audience, and go there. And you have done that beautifully. Trust me, it's been absolutely amazing. And even speaking of the journey that you have been as well, a lot of beginners out there, especially like, I have been seeing so many people out there as well. What would be your point of view on this? A lot of beginners, when they start, if they don't see results in 1 to 2 months, right? Even 1 to 2 months sometimes is a stretch. They start having second thoughts. They're like, this business is not for me. Maybe I should look into something else. They give up, or they have start having second thoughts, so they are not fully invested in their business, right? So what would be your biggest suggestion for people who have that kind of mindset, like they're just trying this business for the sake of it?
We are actually, a lot of people are trying the business for the sake of it and they don't realize it. So the number one thing is to be honest with yourself. Are you really willing to create a business, or are you here for the sake of it? So like a lot of people before they begin, they're like, tell me what to do, I'll give my 100%. I
Mm,
want to give my 100%. I'm ready to give my 100%. And then I've asked them, are you ready to give your 100%? Are you ready to say no to all the weekend plans? Are you ready to say no to movie nights? Are you ready to say, show up every single day and you still have zero followers for 30 days? Are you ready to show up even when you have not made a sale? You have not grown to $1 million? Are you ready to show up? Are you ready to not cry if you lose a sale or something? Because if the answers are not yes here, you just want the money, you're not ready. And this is something that we need to accept, and it's fine to accept to yourself that okay, maybe I'm not ready, and that's fine. You will never be ready. And that's why I always say, stop waiting to be ready, make a decision, because the product is something that you can always improvise. Good marketing will always outdo a good product, because there's no such thing as a perfect product. Times change, people change, we don't know a lot of stuff that we are doing. Trends change. Today is all about AI. Today is all about social media. 5 years back, it was nothing. So for me to launch a product today and thinking, oh my God, tomorrow times will change, they will change. But here's the good thing, because I'm already in the skin of the game, for me to improvise and launch faster is much, much easier than someone who didn't even start. The people who were waiting 2 years back who messaged me saying that I want to start with this, can I get started, haven't yet started, because they will never feel ready. Because they're like, and now the questions that come, don't you think it's saturated? I'm perfectly doing fine.
yeah.
My students who keep showing up no matter what, they might not see a sale in a week, in 2 weeks, I don't know, 6 months, but they still do start seeing sales if they keep showing up. So saturation is proof of concept. Saturation is not everybody's doing it. If everybody's doing engineering, why did you do it? Because it's proof of concept that this works, because it is as simple as that. So I think overthinking is what kills everything for us.
Mm.
Just, I don't know, make a to do list. Today I'll do this. Sit down, do it, sleep well, and you're good to go. That's it.
You frame that so well, right? Everybody's doing engineering doesn't mean that is saturation, right? There are so many doctors out there. Why should I also become a doctor? Nobody thinks that. But a lot of the times it does come with the unknown things. And like you said, right? It's the fact of going into your business and always showing up, right? And that is the main goal as well. And I also remember I was so on the verge of almost like this kind of this question kind of connects relates to me as well. I was on the verge of, okay, maybe I need to look for a part time to start, like, managing my bills, because also it was also one of the reason why I started was, like, when I lost my job. And then 2 months after I had the thought process, I reached my first 10K. So
Wow.
you never know when your business will actually crack it for you. I'm
Yeah.
sure even you have been through all of this and completely, like, defeated that thought process, and now you're almost like touching $500,000 out there. So that kind of like creates a massive example out there of, like, keep going and actually sticking on to the motivation out there. And Paridhi, you also mentioned so many times in your content, in your profile, that you're a massive introvert. You had a meetup in Australia as well, and you mentioned that you were the most silent person in the
Yeah.
entire room, right? For somebody who's so shy, a massive introvert, right? You scaled your business from zero to $400,000 and 336,000 followers on Instagram, right? Same like you. How would a shy person, a complete beginner, also scale their business so beautifully the way you have done?
I don't know. When I give this advice, people leave. But this is my honest advice. Business doesn't work on emotions. If I have to do it, I have to do it. I mean, I didn't know. And the day one I was joining my job, I had a 4 year engineering degree in IT, and then 2 years of IT and marketing MBA. Day one of joining my job, I didn't know anything because the tools, everything they were using, I didn't learn it in my college. I did not. They were using much advanced tools, and I didn't know anything. But I kept doing it because at the end of the month, there was a bonus for me. That was money.
Yeah,
We fight it so much. We fight it like talking about money is unethical, talking about money is almost illegal, like, it's a sin. But everything we are doing is probably for money and for our health. And there's no other option. If you want to make it, you want to make it. So I ask people when they say, I don't want to show my face on social media, is there any way out apart from social media? Is there anything I can do and still make the money? And I'm like, okay, imagine that you are there's an award for $1 million, and you won it. Would you send someone else to take it? No. You would never send someone else to take that award for you unless you're sick or something. So why can't you show up for your own $1 million? Who else will show up for your own $1 million? I am a massive introvert. The only thing that keeps me going is I'm just speaking to a screen.
yeah,
Even now, if I have a call, my husband's in the gym, my brother's sitting inside in a room that don't come out. Because I am a shy person, maybe. And right now I'm like, okay, I have to only talk to one person. So that's okay. Money does not work on emotions. Money works on money. And I know I want to make money, so I'll do anything that's possible for me to make money.
absolutely.
And the advice people will not like, but that's the truth.
And it kind of like goes hand in hand as well. Like, you always show up to work, even though you are extremely tired. You
Exactly.
literally are second guessing a lot of things, and you're just faking a smile on. But you're still showing up. You're not telling your manager, oh, I don't feel like working today. I don't see any point in it. No, right. But when it comes to choosing ourselves, then a lot of thoughts start coming in. Then a lot of questions like, oh, like you said, do I have to create content? I don't want to do anything. I don't want to sell a product. I don't want to show up in my business. But everybody wants to make a million without putting the effort of $1 million, right? So that is like the whole mix up sometimes that we so commonly see in this business. And a lot along these lines as well, there are so many people, I'm sure a lot of them watching this right now, a lot of them don't have a why when they start this business, right? They just want to try because I want to make money online without having a reasoning behind it, right? Which is fine. But I would love to know in your thought process, how important do you think a why is? And also along that as well, what was your why? Why did you start this business?
I think my why is super global. Um, yeah, but I'll share a few bits of it. First of all, can I just say that I think we're putting a lot of pressure in ourselves, yeah. Even if you don't feel like you don't have a why, go try it. If it doesn't work, it's okay. Not everything in the world works, and that's fine. I feel like we're so putting so much pressure that now that I have invested $10 in this ebook of how to make $1 million, I will make the $1 million. And that drive is great, but that pressure is not.
Hmm.
So it's okay. If it, I would personally, I'm sorry to say it, but tomorrow, if I have to, God forbid, I have to go back to a job, I'll go back to a job. Why would I put so much pressure on myself now that I know the skills, I know how monetization, I learned sales, thank God that I don't have to go back to a job. But then you're getting my point. It's okay to try new things and feel like, okay, maybe this is not for me. It's okay. And then tomorrow, if you have, like you said, the why is really important because if you have that why, it won't let you sleep till you make it there. So even on your worst days, that is the thing that you will be able to hold on to. On the worst days where my content is not performing, my sales are not coming, things are not working, instead of sitting down thinking, okay, going back to my job or whatever, okay, quit all of these things, go back, I don't know. I feel like I'll go back to India. But then
Yeah,
every single day I wake up and then, there's my dad, there my parents, and every single morning they're like, your YouTube has reached these many subscribers. I feel so happy.
like a small dose of cake. Yeah.
Yeah, and why am I quitting? These people are literally like, not just relying on me financially, but like rooting for me. That's how important is the why. In your casual days, in your normal days, it's nothing maybe because you take things for granted. But in your worst days, I have to do it. It's very interesting because just today, Alex Hermosi posted a video where he said that, do you know the married men make the most money? So there was a study and he showed the graph and he said married men with kids make the most
Wow.
money.
Mm,
Which is so interesting because if you think about it, if you are a married guy watching this right now with kids and you must be thinking that I don't have the time, you don't understand, I have to save every penny, I have to, put it into my child's education, that is all fair. But then again, it is because their why is so strong, they cannot back down. There are kids looking up to him thinking, I want to be like my dad. There's a wife who's like, maybe he's the financial head of the family or the breadwinner of the family, and that is why their why becomes so strong and they make it. That's the importance of a why, and it could be a simple thing. Your why doesn't have to be so tragic, so drastic. God forbid, I hope it is not tragic.
yeah,
It can be as simple as I don't want to live in a rented apartment all my life. It's a valid why, but it has to be so strong that you know that why you're doing this.
absolutely. And the why is also what kind of helps you not to give up as well. And of course, like you said, it doesn't have to be so tragic as well. And
Yeah.
you rightly stated your why is definitely very global. And I remember each and every aspect of it. But of course, for
Yeah.
people who are living under the rocks, we
Yeah.
would love to know your why and what has been this big backbone that has helped to keep going for so long.
Yeah, okay. It's a very touchy topic for me. I just get a little emotional, but the whole thing is that um um 2022 February I got married and I had a whole gala destination wedding. Of course it was COVID, very intimate wedding, and I financed my wedding. My father put a lot of money into it. Plus we have two sisters, so my father, financed two weddings in the 11 months apart. And it's not easy. Indian weddings are like
Yeah.
money, it's bonkers. Anyway, right, in February I got married. In August I moved to Australia, and towards the end of August I got the news that dad's need a transplant, which was weird and shocking. And because he was fine just yesterday, he was playing football, he was just, in our wedding, we just didn't know. It was such a shocker that things went to such a, you know such an extreme extent. And then I didn't have a job. I quit my job and come here, and then I found a job. I was like, I have to find a job. My husband obviously was working jobs, and he was working, actually in his college time he was working three jobs to just, international fees and
Mm.
all of this, they're quite hard. Um so when I came back, I gave my interview from the hospital. My first jobs interview, I still remember. I gave it from the hospital. My dad was on the day of Diwali. It was Diwali, and my father was due for the surgery. So his surgery happened. Everything happened. It happened through a fundraiser. Thank God, people, like, we had the money at the right time, because fundraisers, there are
Mm.
tons of fundraisers. God was kind that we were able to get the money on time and have that surgery on time. And but then that fundraiser taught me that both my parents were working, all three kids, we are working, and we still couldn't figure out a way to fund a surgery of like the closest family member.
Mm.
So a job probably is not the right answer. Something big has to be done. And then that didn't let me sleep. So I was like, something I have to do. This is not working. Because, see, in my situation, I'm done with my school and college. I can't restart it. So now you can't tell me, oh, if you would have studied harder, maybe this would have not been the case. I know that. But the thing is, I can't change it. So I started looking into what can I change. I can get promotions. I can't do that. Just got the job. So what do we do now so that I can keep sending more money while it doesn't take away the financial stability, maybe while we are in Australia, because new couple don't know anything, new country, new expenses altogether, exponential expenses. So I had to do something. That's when I said, I was on social media. I loved, scrolling on Instagram. I think a lot of people do. Obviously, there are a lot of people who popped on my feed and said, this is something that you can do. I found, okay, digital online business, digital product, digital marketing. This is something that I can do with my job while I have the stability. And I would really like to highlight it. People with a 9 to 5 job right now, you're sitting on a gold mine, because literally now you have businesses where you don't have to quit your job to start something. Yes, you will have to put in more time, more effort, but then do you imagine that you still have the stability while you're building something new, which is insane. So I said, yeah. So I literally use my job to fuel this. So getting done as soon as possible, giving my 8 hours to my job, and then giving all the other hours to my business. And that's how everything started. That's my why. So that fundraiser really changed a lot of things for me. And then what probably kept me going was after, so my brother was the donor of the transplant. First of all, the expenses don't just end after the surgery, they blow up like anything. It's just so expensive, and it doesn't matter which country you are in. It's expensive. And because my parents are now retired, it's just not possible for them to take care of that. Then my brother, who was the donor, he donated his liver, took a break from work, and then he moved permanently. Thank God, his bosses, his team was kind that he was working from home, but then he was taking care of the whole family, and it just ick to me. I just posted this video today. It was an ick for me that even though the world has changed so much, but somewhere it hasn't. Somewhere that responsibility still lies on the guy, that he has to take care of the family. I wasn't stopped. Nobody said, don't go to Australia, stay with us, because they won't. So I said, no, I have to change this. I want to have that time freedom, so that they call me up and they say, come home, we need you. Like they would call someone else, my brother, a guy. They call me up and I say, yes, I'm here. That is the freedom that I wanted. That is my why. And I feel like the little kid, he's the youngest of us all. He was 27. In 27 years of age, he's quit everything, and that's a beautiful sacrifice that he's made. But then it is a sacrifice, and for me as an elder sister to see that, not going further for studies or whatever his dreams and aspirations are, and sitting at home, I couldn't see that. So yeah,
And
big why.
touchwood, I'm really happy to see that your parents are doing absolutely beautiful right now. And I see them sometimes as you guys celebrating festivals and all. That is absolutely beautiful to see. And you made such a good point. Like a lot of us immigrants, right? A lot of us immigrants, when we move, we are like 9 to 5 job. And trust me, I always keep saying that movies lied it to us, right? You move abroad, you stay in a big mansion, have like two, three servants. Life is not like that, even a little bit closer, right? It is so different. But a lot of them still feel that 9 to 5 job is the way to go. If not 9 to 5, have another second job with your 9 to 5 as well. And this is what, like you quoted it so beautifully, it gives you the flexibility to build while you're still working your job, so that
Yes.
tomorrow, god forbid, even like when I lost my job, I got desperate to make this business work,
Yeah.
because I had started 2 weeks before I lost my job over an email. I had no idea what was going to happen. So this is the uncertainty, especially as immigrants. We are alone. You don't have the immediate financial backing, right? The currencies are so different and everything is so expensive. And even when you mentioned, right, all three of your siblings, you guys were working, your parents were working, still it wasn't enough to fund the whole surgery. So that kind of gives a big heads up to everybody, right? There's a bigger potential out there, like you said, and 9 to 5 is not the immediate job, and we don't want to wait till something drastic happens. And then you were blessed with a really good responsive
Thank
uh,
God. Yes.
crowdfunding as
Yes.
well, but not everybody's lucky like that. So we
Yes.
have to build our own security for ourselves, for our family, for each and everything, whether it is for emergency or small bits as well.
Yeah.
So that is such a major factor. And speaking of the blessings that digital marketing brings to people, I cannot be more. Uh, I feel so blessed to even talk about this or bring this into a conversation. LTL, right? And to even have the absolute privilege to be a co-creator of LTL as well, an idea which you introduced, right? And for so many of the people out there who don't know, we would love to know what was your thought process behind coming up with LTL, introducing LTL, which is called Low Ticket Life, and what all have you added in the training that is transforming people's life and going to be transforming everybody's life.
So I was riding the high ticket limousine for a long time and I loved it. I wouldn't lie. But when you really read between the lines, you see that high ticket businesses were not based on high ticket offers. They started with low ticket offers. Every high ticket coach out there is going to tell you create a value ladder. A
Hmm.
value ladder is nothing but a low ticket engine where the starting point is very low priced and then you take it up a notch, take it up a notch, and then finally your high ticket offer. Because the simple logic is nobody's going to give their rent money to you just like that, not on social media. So that's when I saw that everybody's preaching high ticket, but what they're actually doing is building a low ticket engine. And we don't understand that from the customer's perspective. We are like, the shiny object is the high ticket sale. And we're like, I want to do that. But how do you do that without burning yourself out, without being sleazy and scammy and being like, invest right away? How do you build that channel? How do you find the people who, first of all, purchase something high ticket from you? Second, they value it enough. For people to purchase my product, never show up on calls, never take the course, never even log in. It's a waste of my time and energy. I'm sorry to say that, but it is. So for you to have customers that value you, that feel like you're truly helping them, you need to find that channel, and that channel comes from low ticket. And that is why that the mission and vision of low ticket life or LTL was this, that you want to get the sale, but if you are a beginner, start low ticket. If you think you're building a business on social media and you have a high ticket offer and you'll just share the link via auto DMs to people, chances are you will never make that sale, because sharing that link in the name of automation is not nurturing your audience. But at the same time, if you share a link and if you have an offer, if you have an automation that is so low price that it's not even a second thought for people, They're like, okay, let me try that. And then you give massive value out in that offer. Now people trust you enough to give you their own money. And they're like, yeah, I want to learn from you. So that's the mission and vision of low ticket, which I felt was missing in this space. This is the kind of missing piece of the puzzle where people are not able to figure out, okay, I'm a beginner. How do I make that $5,000 sale? That's how you make it from a $5 offer. So that was the mission of Low Ticket Life. That is what we teach inside the Low Ticket Life. And like I said, I started with affiliate marketing. I got done for you products. And I created my own courses, mini courses. I created my own chatbots. And now I'm exploring paid partnerships. Everything's inside the Low Ticket Life. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to price your offers so that you know that, okay, I can build that engine that actually takes me to that high ticket sale without burning out. That's the main thing.
Big time. And also speaking of, there's so many different features, right, LTL provides. And me personally, I have seen from inside of the community as well, there are so many modules, so there are so many subjects out there which really helps LTL stand out. And I would love to hear it from your perspective, Paridhi. There are so many courses out there, so
Yeah.
many digital marketing courses out there for beginners, for digital marketers. And this is the biggest confusion and the biggest question that a lot of beginners and digital marketers out there have, right? And for them, for those watching, how would you describe LTL is different from other courses, and why they have to would be best beautiful to consider LTL if they want to scale their business from 0 to 6 figures as well.
I'm sure there are lots of courses that are amazing value, but definitely what is different in LTL is I have walked the path of high ticket, I have walked the path of low ticket, and I know for sure that low ticket brings you momentum so that you can keep working. Because if you don't have that momentum, if you'd like to quit one day, you will quit your journey. This is a business and you might have those moments. What I feel when it comes to learning is I will learn it myself, I will experiment, and I will give it back to my community. And Low Ticket Life is my community. What I feel like what makes Low Ticket Life different than any other course or a community is that this is community first. So 90% of the times, every single Q&A call we have, the last 5 minutes are, what do you want more? What is the tutorial? What are we missing in the social media module? What are we missing in any other module that we have? And if there's something missing, there's a new training on that. There is a new module that we are going to launch. So while keeping things not too overwhelming for you, that bombarding you with tutorials, but launching exactly the tutorials that you need in your journey so that you stay right in the game. Plus, like I said before, having a coach is really important. I know you can get all of this information from YouTube, from everywhere else, but you need to have coaching, real coaching where I'm stuck here. What do I do? This is
Absolutely.
the track record of LTL that if there is someone who has been on the coaching calls 100% of the times, they have made their sales. So if you really are looking for coaching for someone, for coaches who give their 100% to see you grow, LTL I know is a community for you because we're always there. Plus all the other bonuses, of course, you have lifetime access. I think that's an epic bonus. You have time. It's not lifetime access to the course, it's lifetime access to someone else's time and energy, which is a big thing if you think about it. It's lifetime access to ask
Very
questions.
well said.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've earned my first $1,000. How do I scale next? I've earned my next $1,000. How do I scale next? So that lifetime access is much more than just access to some tutorials, and that is where I think LTL stands out beautifully.
Absolutely. And it comes with master resale rights as well,
Comes with resale rights,
which
yeah. I do all the work. You and I do all the work, and you guys enjoy the sales. I would love to see you enjoy the sales.
absolutely. So you create your own products, you build your own community, you learn in any different niche, whether you want to show your face or not. And it also comes with resale rights, which is a beautiful touch. If at the beginning you have no idea and you want to start with the course itself, and then you can kickstart with your own beautiful products. And that is the beauty of LTL. And that, in my personal perspective as well, you hit the nail on the head. That is what makes it stand out so much. It's not just about reselling at the beginning phase, but actually scaling to so much more organically as well. And seeing your journey as well, Paridhi, you have been absolutely crushing it for so long and scaling your business. And it's only, I can't wait for when you hit your first $1 million as well. Trust me, I'm going to be the first person to celebrate it.
That's
Right?
so kind.
Absolutely. And I'm manifesting it. Along with that, you are also helping the community as well to grow. That is the beautiful part. And what would you say, where would you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? Personally, business wise, we would love to hear.
In the next 3 to 5 years, in the next 3 to 5 years, I have my partner and we have a home. Maybe it's a big home, maybe it's a small home. I am my partner, he loves me a lot, and I'm scaling my business to whatever heights. That's me 3 to 5 years. I personally feel after building my business that I need to enjoy the little things more than I need to think about what the future holds. I mean, having those aspirations is definitely good. This is my biggest aspiration right now, to make my first $1 million. Absolutely manifesting it with you, Ashwarya. Thank you so much for saying that. But yeah, I just want to be happy. As long as my family's with me, my partner's with me, I am happy. That's
That,
honest.
yeah, the small things, the small thing. You,
They
I love
matter. Yeah.
the way you said it so beautifully, and that actually even shows like the grounded nature as well, right? The main thing is what is important, our health and our parents as well.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
even like for me, they are the biggest reason why I started, and I'm closest to my dad as well. So when you were sharing your story of why you started and where you see your business as well, it touches my heart. And god forbid it doesn't happen to anybody or anybody's parents, but
Yes.
that is the big like the main dream or the reality that we want, everybody healthy, living a happy loving life. And that is the absolute goal, with $1 million in the bank, of course. Absolutely. And the last advice from you, Paridhi, to my community and everyone watching, hearing us right now, everybody who wants to start their journey, your biggest advice or a tip that you would love to send them away with if they want to also start and scale their business, whether they are a beginner or a digital marketer. Your last wise words.
You only have three currencies: money, time, and knowledge. And whatever you want to build, you'll use the two currencies to build the third one. So, whatever is your priority right now, use the other two.
Wow. And I hope everybody really absorbed that and really starts acting on that as well. So yeah, that shows this this whole talk kind of sums up the heavy potential of digital marketing, and also how you, a actual ordinary immigrant, has completely crushed it in the business and motivating so many others as well. Definitely you motivated me, and I cannot
Thank
wait for every other immigrant to absolutely absorb this and crush it in their business and in their life as well. Thank you so much for your time, Paridhi. It was absolutely amazing. And this kind of gives a complete, it's like a big shot for this interview series, and it couldn't have been any better. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed our conversation.